How do you go about balancing your side hustle with your full-time job? Well, in today's video insider, this is what I'm going to be sharing with you. The 5 steps that I took in my journey when I began a decade ago. I've worked a lot of different jobs that I hated in the past, and I've balanced a lot of different businesses I had in the past as well. And it just took that one business to really take off until I finally was able to create a life of freedom that I live today. And so I want you to realize whatever hell you're going through with your current job right now, as long as you're able to balance it well, you will be able to eventually, hopefully turn it into a lifestyle business. And that's why I want you to pay close attention, but especially to the third one. This is where most people trip themselves up. And without further ado, let's go straight onto the first. You want to begin to recoup your time immediately. You see, you've got habits right now unconsciously that you're running where you're literally draining your time. So you want to begin to schedule everything in. You want to write down everything you're doing every single day. We have, as human beings, 1,440 minutes in a day. That is 24 hours. You and I have got the same time. But what we do in that time will determine your results. So when I was starting my journey, I realized I was wasting my time in areas I wasn't conscious of until I began to write down everything I was doing in the morning. Now, back in the days, I used to have a lot of average behavior because I wasn't familiar with high performance. So I used to watch a lot of TV in the morning. I used to take ages getting ready. I used to drag myself out of the bed. I would spend like 30 minutes snoozing, you name it. Once I began to see this on paper, it made me feel super guilty because I was looking to launch this business, not because only I wanted freedom, but I just want to be able to help my mum because she helped me so much on my journey, and she's the person who woke me up when I was going through my negative times. And so I just want to be able to help her, and I realized I wasn't doing her a favor, I wasn't doing me a favor. So I began to get rid of all of the things that wasn't serving me, and I began to recoup all of the time. And in the end, I realized I was wasting 3 hours every single morning unconsciously. I had to also start waking up early so I could have more time to work on myself as well as my business. Now, after work, I realized I was wasting a lot of time watching TV. I realized there's a lot of friends I was hanging around with that was not contributing anything towards my success and the thing I wanted to make happen. They were not aligned with my mission. And I was just literally wasting time spending time with them because I just wanted to please them or something. And so once I began to get rid of the things that was not serving me, I realized I ended up every single day during the work days, I would be wasting around 6 hours. If you're somebody right now who's telling yourself, I don't have the time for it, realize that you have got the time, but you're simply wasting it. If somebody had a gun to your head and was about to pull the trigger, unless you find the time, I'm sure you'll find the time. So realize this, you got to get conscious of your unconscious habits. We are habitual creatures. We do things, we automate things without realizing we're automating it. Every day you got so much time. And these are the time that you got to begin to do the second thing. You wanna block it. Once you realize how much time you've got that you can dedicate towards your business, that could be 5 to 6 hours a day if you've done it properly, you want to tell everybody that this is my time, that I'm going to focus on my business. Yes, it sounds a little bit selfish, but realize this is a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. When I, for example, was starting out, I had to even limit the time I was spending with my family. But because I did that in the past, I'm able to today spend all of the time I wish. In fact, next month, I'm taking my mum, my brother, my sister, the family over to Tokyo on a holiday. I'm able to do this because I put in the short-term sacrifice. That's what you're doing right now, and you've got to view it as that. So block your time. You want to make sure nobody can reach you. Turn off your mobile, turn off instant notification, turn off anything. If you're not using the Wi-Fi, turn it off. Get rid of distraction. When you're working on your business, you just focus on the business, nothing else. You want to book the other stuff for other times. But when you have blocked off business hours, this is specifically for your business only. Realize that most business owners, they don't need 10 hours a day. They just spend loads of time just wasting it subconsciously without realizing. So you've got maybe 3 to 4 hours a day, whatever it may be. This is plenty of time to launch that business. So begin to block it off so you can get into that flow state. It takes roughly around 20 minutes of uninterrupted attention to reach flow. So that is the second. You want to begin to block off the times you're working towards your business, before and after work. Now, the third thing is in regards to only working on your high income activities. So this stands for high income activities only. And this is where most people trip themselves up. You see, most people, they end up working their job and they realize how they could do that job as a business and they think they could make a load of money. Now, the problem with that approach, the reason why most people fail in terms of business is because they are trying to enter the business market with an employee mindset opposed to an employer mindset. You've got to begin to change and reinvent yourself from an employee to an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur focuses on the business. Somebody who's not familiar with the business world will just focus on their skill. For example, imagine if there was a hairdresser who hated her job and she knows that the clients are paying the boss a lot of money for her to do that particular craft. So what she thinks is, oh, I'm gonna go create a business. And she goes into her own business thinking, I'm gonna become the best hairdresser in the world, but that is not what makes you money. You could, for example, have a store where you could have diamonds and gold and you could be trying to giving out for free. But imagine for a moment if nobody was on that high street. No matter how good that offer was, even if you offered $1 million for free, if nobody knows you exist, you're not going to be able to give out millions of dollars. So you got to focus on what actually drives a business forward. The first thing is visibility. Every single business needs to be visible. If nobody knows you exist, you're invisible. And if you're invisible in business, you're not in business. Whatever product or service you've got, every single day, you've got to show up. You've got to be visible in front of your customers. And in this day and age, it's very easy. Social media is free. Set up a Facebook account, Instagram, YouTube. I don't tend to talk a lot about that here on this channel, but if you're interested in regards to how I've done it, because I specialize in online marketing for like a decade now, and I teach this stuff only offline, and the shortest event that I normally run is around 30 hours long. So I could speak day and night in regards to this topic. So if you're interested in a specific topic, do let me know in the comments box below. But you wanna get great at social media, you wanna get great at just distributing all of your content out there so your customers know you exist. Also, you wanna look to leverage your time. For example, most amateurs, what they do is they spend 80% of their time on producing the content and 20% on distributing the content. You wanna flip that on its head. So now, you focus 80% of the time on distribution, getting it visible, and only 20% of the time on creating that video or the blog or whatever it may be. Because your focus is on visibility. You've got to get your message heard out there. And also, you wanna look to leverage your time in other ways. If you create a YouTube video, here's a hack for you. Create that YouTube video, post it now onto Facebook. Post it now onto Instagram as a 1-minute video. And you can also get that video you've created on YouTube transcribed and get it turned into a blog. You can also take the audio from that video and turn it into a podcast. And there you go. Your 15-minute or 1 hour, however long it's taken you to create that video is now being leveraged to maximize the distribution. Is this making sense, by the way? So that's the first thing, visibility. The second thing is sales. There are so many people who are new to business, they spend hours upon hours just making their logo look pretty, changing their font for like many, many days. They make their website look amazing, but realize this, your customers simply do not really care. Your customers only care about what does your product service really do for them. And this is why you probably have come across some ugly websites that make millions of dollars. If you haven't, by the way, it's crazy how many there are, which looks really ugly, but they make so much money. It's because of the fact that they know how to sell and market. That's 2 and 3, by the way. So second is selling and third is marketing. Because let me ask you, do you think McDonald's is the best burger in the world in terms of taste? Probably not. And yet they're one of the largest. Why? Because they sell and market like the pro. Another example is Dasani water bottle. Would you say Dasani is the best water brand in the world? Probably not. But why are they the largest? Because it's owned by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola know how to sell and market their products. Your high income activities has to include selling, marketing every single day. This is what you got to become a master at. Your skill is something you want to delegate eventually. You do not want to become the world class in terms of your skill. If that's something you want to do, you might as well just stay in your job and become world class. But an entrepreneur focuses on trying to get out the business. Every business, in fact, needs an exit plan, even if you don't want to exit, because that forces you to not work in the business, it forces you to work on the business. And realize that most people, they end up quitting their 9-to-5 job and they end up working more hours in their business because they've literally locked themselves in a prison of their own business because they did not focus on this from the start. Systemization is the key, and that's why we're going to go on to the fourth point. You want to focus on systemization. Let me ask you this question. Could you cook a better burger than McDonald's if you tried really hard? You're probably nodding along thinking, yes, of course. Right? I could, and I'm pretty bad at cooking. Now, let me ask you this though. Could you cook 1,000,000 burgers a day like McDonald's can? No, neither can I, right? Why? It's because McDonald's have got a system, and right now you don't have a system for producing burgers. Again, best entrepreneurs focus on system. They focus on building a business. A business is a business only when it doesn't actually require you to be in it to actually maintain. The problem is most people, they create a business and it requires them. So what ends up happening is if something happens to them, God forbid, imagine some illness hits this entrepreneur, then their business profits will begin to shoot down because the whole business revolves around that entrepreneur. You want to systemize a business where it doesn't require you, where you've actually thought about how can I structure this business where I'm running the business, where I'm working on the business, not working in the business. Walk into the McDonald's chain, and of course, God forbid, do not eat their food, it's terrible for you. And I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that, but do not eat it. Just walk over to the counter and watch how every single team member knows exactly what to do. It's so smooth because they just know what couple steps they got to take, and they're all unconsciously doing it, so it's easier done than said, opposed to easier said than done. It's such a smooth system, and this is why McDonald's is one of the largest franchises in the world. You want to begin to think about what are the tasks I'm doing every single day where I can actually give it to somebody else. If there is something that you're doing every single day that you're repeating, there might be a software that can actually automate that process for you. There's plenty out there online. If there's something that it requires a human element, maybe you've got to check over it, then there's a chance you could find somebody out in Philippines and you could just leverage your time and just invest your money in actually hiring that team member. Your time is the most valuable asset. You got to begin to treat your time like the rich in order for you to become rich. That is the fourth point. Let's go on to the final one, which is OPM. This doesn't stand for other people's money, if you're wondering. It actually stands for other people's mistakes. This is the key. There are so many people today who kind of just Google everything, YouTube everything, try to figure stuff out by themselves. But realize this, you may think you're saving money, but what it's actually doing is actually costing you money. Why? Because your time is money. And money always comes back, but your time doesn't. What you want to focus on is you want to focus on leveraging other people's mistakes. That's why every single day I'm going through different trainings. Every single day I'm leveraging other people's mistakes. I'm asking for help. I invest a lot into coaches myself in all different areas. For example, just for a tool I use online called the Infusionsoft, which is our CRM software, I've got a coach who teaches me that. Because instead of me, for example, trying to spend 10 plus years trying to figure out how to use this system and so forth, I just basically ask him and he just tells me what to do and he points out the blind spots. For example, in the gym, the personal trainer shows me my blind spots. Instead of me spending 17 plus years getting to where he is, I just ask him for help. You've got to leverage other people's mistake and other people's time. That's the key. So every single day you want to educate yourself. Read tons of books, go through tons of courses. You got to realize the more you learn, the more you will earn. So begin to master the world of marketing, sales, but most importantly, master yourself. Because part of mastering wealth is all about mastering yourself. Because if you do not have a rich mindset, if you've not gotten rid of your blockages, no matter what business you're trying to set up, it will fail. So much of business nowadays is about personal development. And you will see that with the most successful individuals out there, they've got a solid mindset, and that's what you got to build up. So for example, in the commuting hours, however many hours you're spending every day commuting, leverage that time to educate yourself. Maybe listen to a video, listen to a podcast. You want to become the most obsessive student there is. Realize the more you keep on learning, the more you keep on earning. You got to become so obsessive over this stuff. And these are the 5 things you got to know to be able to balance your side hustle and your full-time at the same time. I hope you found today's video helpful, Insider. If you have, be sure to click that like button. And if you're somebody who wants some help to be able to reinvent yourself so you can go from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur, because that's the secret to be able to create that acceleration, by the way. I'm actually hosting a free live training where I'll be revealing the free secrets to reinventing yourself, even if you're feeling down and out. These are the exact steps I took when I began my journey to be able to reach my goals 10 times faster. If you would like to register, it's totally for free, by the way. It's a free gift from me. Follow the link above or go directly to the link here to get yourself registered for free. Just bear in mind, 500 people is the maximum capacity that we can actually host on this platform. So even if you get yourself registered, show up nice and early because this is a live training. And you also have a chance to ask me questions at the end of it. So just so if you want additional clarity, whatever it may be, I'll be able to help you to be able to get that as well. Insider, if you really enjoyed this video, also remember to share this video with a friend or loved one because life was all about paying forwards. And let me ask you a question. What has been your biggest takeaway today? Let me know in the comments box below, or if you've got any other questions, do let me know also. And as always, follow your heart, my friend, and take action. And go live the life you're truly born to live. I'll see you on the next video soon.